guys, welcome to YouTube Bootcamp. Great to see you. Thank you for coming. Just getting it all set up here and ready for you.
Okay.
So tonight's bootcamp is so exciting and interesting because we are going to be covering the #1 way to get viewers and subscribers to your channel with YouTube marketing. This is very, very exciting and cool. Who's here besides, let's see, I mean, we have people here. Who else is here? When you get here, sign into the chat and let me know you're here. Hi and welcome. Thanks for coming. We will be starting YouTube marketing very shortly. I'm just getting everything ready and set up for you. Sal is still setting up his iPad. Sal, you know what? Can you come and talk to people and I'll come over there? Hold on one second.
Yeah, sign me in.
Okay.
I'm here. All right, cool. Make sure I'm out of the shadow. We made the screen bigger for you so that it's easier to see. Hopefully that works. I don't have a microphone. I have to yell over your microphone. How's everybody doing? Anybody here? Who's here? Abby! Hi, Abby. Abby's here. The thing with the, oh, yeah. On this? Here we go. Excuse us one second. You right there? Okay. It's not staying here and talk. So how is everyone? Who else is here? Sound needs a mic. No. I don't need a mic. Sherry's mic is on her. So I talk like this.
Saul.
Saul? Who's Saul? Who's Saul? Hey, who's Saul? When did I go from Italian to Jewish all of a sudden? What's going on here?
Okay. Hi guys, welcome. I was just signing Sal into his iPad so he could join you on the chat and take care of you. Who's here? Oh, hey Tabitha.
Better call Saul.
Hi David.
He's trying to get people to call.
Better call Saul. Very cute, very cute. Hi Dale, great to see you all. Thank you for coming. Trying to get people to call you. You're funny. Okay, looking for iPad. All right, Sal's gonna have to sign me back in to.
What happened now? Oh.
Wow. Okay, so we're trying a much bigger screen behind me, which I'll show you how much bigger this is. It's really a lot bigger. It's hugely bigger because I'm hoping that you can see the slides that way. We've been working on setting up OBS Studio, Open Broadcasting System Studio, OBS Studio. Hey Rita, welcome. Thanks, honey. Great to see you. And it's a little bit of a steeper learning curve than we expected. So Sal is standing in front of the projector.
I'm not.
That's why there's like a giant monster in front of the projector.
Yeah, I'm not standing
Who else is here?
I'm giving you more volume. There we go.
Am I in? You're in, Rita. You are in. You are in. So if I can figure out how to use OBS Studio, which I've only spent, I don't know, like an hour and a half trying to figure, I don't even think that long, trying to figure it out. But it would be awesome because I can put a frame around the screen in OBS Studio and make it look better. And I can put the slides in a frame and make that look better and all that stuff. So just trying to professional it up for you guys. What are you doing, honey?
Nothing, I'm fine.
Okay, so Sal's futzing with the lights. All right, I am going to get started. Hello again, and welcome to YouTube Bootcamp. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are talking about YouTube marketing, which obviously I'm super excited about. I'm Sherry Barbera. I'm your host, and I am a Google certified YouTube channel growth expert. And that is something. Hey, who gave me my first like? Thank you. You know I love those. I see that every single time, but please do those likes. I love getting those. I really do appreciate that. So YouTube marketing. Wow. What is the #1 way to get views? Who knows? Thank you for the extra likes. I appreciate that. Who knows what the #1 way is to get views? Put it in the chat. I want to know what you have to say. And Sal will tell me.
One way to get views.
The #1 way to get views on YouTube. The #1 way to get views on YouTube. What do you think it is? No one's answering me. No, nobody has said anything. I'm just going to stand here and wait for someone to say something. Besides Sal. Sal wants to jump up and tell me. But, you know, he knows.
Sure.
Okay, cats. Sal said cats. All right, I'll just go forward. A dynamite thumbnail. A dynamite thumbnail. Got it? That is the #1 way to get views on YouTube. A dynamite thumbnail.
Have you said trending topics?
Trending topics. You're listening. Good girl. Thank you for saying that. That's very smart and also true, but it's not the #1 way. The #1 way is a dynamite thumbnail. And the reason for that is because when you're watching a video, and this is a video, even though it looks like people are watching a video, it is a video. What happens? Out of the peripheral of your eye, you see suggested videos. That's what, where's my pointer? Where's my trusty pointer? Okay. That's what these are. These are all suggested videos. Suggested videos are what YouTube is suggesting you watch next, as opposed to what you want your viewer to watch next, right? So let's say that somebody is watching a video and your thumbnail comes up in suggested videos. They have to decide from all of the thumbnails that are there, do they want to watch any of them? Have any of them caught their eye? Is anything interesting, or should they just keep watching more videos from the channel that they were on? This is something you, as a YouTube creator, need to think about all the time, all the time. So if you look at this, and I know that the lighting doesn't show the dramatic colors. You can see the good colors?
Dale said music.
Oh, okay. So you will know one of them really jumps out at you more than another one. So how do you get people to click on the thumbnail? Hopefully it's your suggested video, right? Well, there's something called guerrilla style marketing, and I have covered that in previous videos for you guys. Guerrilla marketing is the coolest, most out of your comfort zone way of marketing yourself. And if you think about using it for thumbnails, I don't know that anybody is really thinking hard about using guerrilla marketing tactics for thumbnails, but it's very smart to do that. Guerrilla marketing is unconventional. Guerrilla marketing is super creative. Guerrilla marketing is imaginative. It's things that you don't typically see. It's something you do not expect. And even though you are making business videos, don't you want to attract the most people that you possibly can? Don't you want to be entertaining with the content that you're presenting them? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So look at this awesome photograph. This is not a thumbnail, though it would make a remarkably wonderful thumbnail. This is guerrilla marketing. This was done by an advertising agency for a rest stop on the highway for people to eat food. I mean, can you believe that? That's like one of the coolest ads I've ever seen. It literally takes over the entire front of a tunnel. That's a car. Those are cars driving into the tunnel. So you're literally driving into someone's mouth. And fabulous guerrilla marketing. Okay, buy me before it's too late, right? So King Kong is going to grab the car if you don't buy it. It's so visually dynamic, so extraordinary, so out of the ordinary, so unexpected, unconventional, and imaginative, very creative. And this was at a trade show. And don't you think a ton of people photographed that? Yeah, they did. Don't you think a ton of people shared that photograph? Yes, and you can look it up online right now because it has been shared hundreds of thousands of times, maybe at this point millions of times. This is guerrilla marketing. It's something that people find so extraordinary that they have to share it. They have to share, they have to think about it. They're just excited about it. Here's another one. This is the sign you've been waiting for. And then, literally you could put your product or service or your face or whatever it is that you want to put there, but another guerrilla marketing tactic. This is the sign you've been waiting for. It's just very clever. The main thing, oh, I'm sorry, honey. Sal wanted to be the sign you were waiting for. You must, the most important thing is to get viewers to click your thumbnail. That is it. That is your goal. That is your number one goal, is to get viewers to click your thumbnail. Because once you get them to click your thumbnail, you've got them to come to your video. Now it's up to you for dynamite content, but just getting people there is so important because otherwise you're on an island. Nobody's seeing it. Hi, Mom. So what gets a thumbnail clicked? What gets clicked? Something that your eyes look at and cannot move away from. Something that is so visually, right, that you can't look away from it. Something that is easy to see on a phone, right? 70% of viewers on YouTube are mobile, 70%. Only 30% of people are looking on a computer. So don't be making things for people on a computer, on a laptop, on a desktop. Make things for people on mobile. Dynamic things for people on mobile. So what statistically gets clicked the most on thumbnails? Faces, animals, and contrasting bright colors. Those are the three things that get clicked the most. Here's an example that includes all three things: faces, animals, and bright colors. Very smart, and it got 138 million views. Just saying, if you learn from the best. So, right? Faces, animals, and bright colors. Here is another example of faces plus bright colors. So if you combine what really, really works, your odds dramatically increase. So right at the beginning when I said, what is the number one thing that gets people to view your content, and Sal said cats, he really wasn't far off, because faces, animals, and bright colors. Bright colors and a face, but super bright colors. Faces, and not just any kind of faces, right? Not just somebody going like this, or not just somebody going like this, but like, like, oh my gosh. So faces that are really extreme, like most of the faces that I make are really extreme. Animals, I mean, look at that darling dog. Look at that adorable face. That is an extreme face. That is a clickable thumbnail. Because man, I mean, you just want to know what happens to that little cute dog, don't you? Don't you want to know, is that fish going to actually do something, or what is that all about? So you want to know. Another thing that's fun is animation or drawings. Another way to grab people's attention, because it's not typical. That is not typical. So doing things that are out of the ordinary, this is using super bright colors and animals and drawing and graphic illustrations. So very smart. Super duper whooper bright colors. This one. This is a person who their entire channel is about slime. That's what their whole channel is about, slime. It's showing up blue? It's fuchsia. It is bright fuchsia. I don't know why it's showing up blue, but it is not purple. It is bright fuchsia, which is really weird. I wonder why it's coming up blue.
It's something to do with the projector.
That is so strange. Okay. More slimy, bright colors, just fabulous. So, you know, if you want to get ideas on what kind of things are really getting clicked, go and look at channels of goofball stuff, like how to make slime. But for kids, that's so much fun, right? Even for adults, of course, that's a lot of fun. This is from a music video, right? Nicki Minaj music video, but look at those bright colors. Look at the crazy outfits. Look at, I mean, everything about it. It's clickable. This is a clickable thumbnail. Again, bright colors, but a face along with bright colors. So 2 of the 3 things that make people click. And, you know, money, it's kind of a no-brainer. A lot of people are going to click something that shows a lot of money. So very smart, very smart. More slime. Okay, am I going the wrong way? What else gets clicks? Patterns and trends. So Tabitha, very smart girl. You are very smart. Patterns and trends get clicked. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, and I do this a lot, right? Don't I do this a lot? This is one of the things that gets a lot of clicks right now. This, or this, or this. You know, the pointing thumbnails. And I will show you what I mean right now. Here is an example of YouTube itself. This is from YouTube itself, YouTube creators. This is one of their thumbnails. So what is it? It's a guy that works for YouTube pointing at one of their creators. So this has become a pretty common theme right now. Our own Sam Santiago of Arizona Living Channel, pointing. And I have to say, I love this thumbnail. And Sam, if you're on, or if you look at this later, I love this thumbnail. It's great. I love how you're coming out of the circle. Okay, here's another one. And, you know, it's not just the pointing thing, it's the face. It's the giant face. But then look at that title. I mean, I think that's going to grab your attention. You are stupid? You are stupid? You are stupid? I mean, I don't know how he's saying it on the thumbnail, but I do know that I find that a little offensive, but it's intriguing, right? It's intriguing. So these are the kinds of things that make you want to click, these intriguing things. Okay, face plus text. So here we go with the pointing thing, the big face, and now a lot of text. And hey, guess what? Money. So, am I seeing another trend here? Yeah, I think so. I think money is a big thing right now. Not that it isn't always a big thing, but showing money for business in your thumbnails seems to be very smart. Here's another one, face with text. So very large of your face and bold, very big text. Because who can read anything tiny? Nobody. Nobody. And remember, it's going to show up on your phone. See how big it looks? It doesn't look big at all. You know why? Because it's not. It's not big. It's like 2 inches. So when you're making a thumbnail and you want people to click it, keep in mind what gets clicked. Faces, animals, and super bright colors, contrasting colors. Face and text. Now here's another one, and this is from Evan Carmichael's channel. And Evan Carmichael does literally the same thing on almost every single thumbnail right now. He does a black background, he does white and gold text that is enormous and fills up most of the thumbnail. And then some extraordinarily famous, important person or a celebrity, their giant head, just their face, on the other side of the thumbnail. Is this clickable? If you want to know about Steve Jobs, yes. If you want to know about marketing tips, yes. If you want to learn something from someone who was unbelievable in his brilliance of creating something enormous, yes, you do want to click this. So does he have an advantage by having a celebrity on there? Of course he does. But is this something you could do somehow? Yes, of course it is. It's just, what is the content of your video? Does your video include commentary about Steve Jobs? Does your video include commentary about a musician like Nicki Minaj? So think about ways that you can incorporate a celebrity or an extraordinarily famous person into your content to increase the chances of people wanting to click on it. Very smart. Face and text. Face and text. This is Jasmine Star. If you don't know about Jasmine Star, you really want to find out about her. She is the social media guru for Instagram. If you want to learn about Instagram, if you want to do Instagram the right way, Jasmine Star. Vogue. So look at how not even 2/3, but 3/4 of the thumbnail is just the model, right? Just the model. And then Vogue. Well, everybody knows what Vogue is, right? So if you were to do that with the name of your business and start branding yourself that way, people will start to recognize the font you use, the style of the font you use, the color of the font you use, the way you have it lined up. All of these are branding aspects along with the smart way to show what it is that gets clicked. Okay. People and music videos. This is the big trend right now in thumbnails for music videos. They don't even say anything. It's just people. It's just, I guess, you know, everybody knows who they are. I don't actually know who these people are. That's terrible. I don't actually know who these people are. But hey, you know, they are extremely gigantic in the music world, and on YouTube, all they need to do is show their faces. That's it. All they need to do is just be there. Again, all they need to do is just be there. Another music video thumbnail. Wow. Another music video thumbnail. But look at the bright colors. Look at how dynamic this is. Look at how he used perspective with the palm trees going in, drawing you right into his face, right? Draws you right into his face. So another thing that you can do, another way that you can learn how to create a thumbnail that's very dynamic, is to use something that draws you right in to what you want people to focus on, right? Mostly text. That's another interesting thumbnail. So here's a thumbnail, mostly text, just a small cup of coffee on top of it, and yet it's so visually appealing. All of that beautiful white space surrounding those gorgeous letters that you can actually read. And typically, I have said, don't use crazy fonts, don't get all fancy schmancy with your lettering because nobody can read them. But here's an exception to the rule, isn't it? Look at that beautiful, beautiful writing. You can clearly read jazz. You can clearly read it. And the reason for that is because it's enormous. It's enormous on there. Even on my phone, look at how gigantic it looks. So if I were looking at a video, and this was a suggested video, and I was interested in looking at listening to more jazz, would I click this? Yeah, I would. I would definitely click that. I thought this was very, 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 very fun. And the way that they stacked the text and the interesting fonts and the different sizes and shapes of the fonts really made this an exciting thumbnail. Not something that you would normally think you'd want to click on, and yet it's so intriguing that you would want to click on it. So just using text in a very unconventional way, in an interesting way, by stacking it, by making it all fit into one small space, by creating this column in the center of the thumbnail, it's also interesting that, it's like the perfect size for your finger to click, isn't it? It's the perfect clickable finger. So all of these things, all of these subliminal things, you want to think about every one of these. Education in society. You can clearly read that. You can clearly read that even on the phone. Very, very clear, nice, bright colors behind it. So even though it's text only, the fact that it's got more than just the text makes it clickable. If you're interested in education, if you're interested in education in society, yes, it would be clickable. So are there any questions on patterns and trends? Are there any questions on any of this? Let me just take a quick look. Sound is perfect. Money, money. Okay, so nobody is posting any questions. You got to post questions, guys, because this is such important stuff for you. It's so super important. The number one goal of your thumbnails is to get the maximum number of clicks. I'm going to repeat that because it is so important. The number one goal of your thumbnails is to get the maximum number of clicks. Maximum, not to get one click, the maximum number of clicks. If you think in terms of guerrilla marketing, if you think in terms of unconventional, if you think in terms of faces, animals, bright colors, and then you start working with maybe rule of thirds, maybe with dynamic perspective, all of these things are going to help you get your thumbnails clicked. You want to get your viewer excited. You want them to want to click it. You want them to want to know more. Celebrities help. If you want to include text, that helps too. But it's not necessary, but you can include it. I personally like it because it helps me to know what the video content is going to be about, but that is a personal call on your end because obviously it's not necessary. If you have a dynamic enough visual, you can get away without text. I like text. Title on the thumbnail helps to understand what the content of the video is. And this is when I really like text on a thumbnail, when it helps you immediately to understand what that video is going to be giving you. So if it's text content, not just text, but the content, that really helps viewers to know, should I click on this? I don't know. What am I going to learn? Well, hey, this tells you exactly what you're going to learn. So it's a no-brainer. And I think that makes a lot of sense to try to make no-brainer thumbnails. So think about this concept of doing a title that's the content of your video, along with a giant face, bright colors, and in this case, the bright colors, white against the contrast of black. So there is contrast. It's got to make sense. Does it make sense? Even when we were looking at the thumbnails about slime and all that stuff that they were using to make the slime, did it make sense? It did. It made sense. So that's another thing. If your thumbnail doesn't make any sense when somebody gets to your video, they're going to be pissed because the thumbnail is the teaser for the video content. And the video content needs to coordinate with the thumbnail so that when the viewer gets there, their expectations are delivered. You want to deliver on whatever it is that you are creating.
Some woman named Sheila has a question.
Sheila! Hi, Sheila. Welcome. What's your question?
Should thumbnails be specific to each series on my channel or the same for everything
Oh my God,
on my channel?
that is an excellent question. So Sheila's question is, should thumbnails be specific to every series on my channel? And your series are your playlists. So your playlists are the different videos that you've created in the same topic or theme on my channel, or the same for everything on my channel. That is such an awesome question, because there are a number of rules of thought about this. And mine is, I think your thumbnail should coordinate with your playlist, with your series, with your TV shows. And the reason for that is so that it's immediately understandable what's different. So, for example, we do a series of Ask Me Anything videos. We also do a series of mastermind videos from YouTube creators that are masterminds at YouTube. And the thumbnails in those series, generally speaking, look different from all of the rest of the thumbnails on our channel. I think that helps viewers immediately know what the content is about. Now, with that having been said, there are many YouTubers who say, oh, well, you know, you just have to have a consistent brand. You have to have a consistent look. So when viewers see your thumbnails and suggested, they immediately know it's you. I don't disagree with them, but I do feel like if you have a consistent look to your thumbnails, but you change it up but you change up the colors, or you change up the color of the fonts, or you change up the color of your backgrounds, or you change up what your text box colors are, or maybe even sometimes change the fonts for specific playlists. I think that's really smart. I think it helps the viewer understand better what your content is about. My recommendation is to go to your competitors, your peers on YouTube, and look at their thumbnails. Look at what they're doing. Go to the top YouTube channels and look at what they're doing. And then go to top YouTubers. What are they doing? Is there a consistency to their thumbnails? Are they using the same look all the time, or are they changing them up? What are they doing? I have noticed that a lot of YouTubers have been changing up their thumbnails lately, especially in the YouTube guru space. And I think part of that is because one of the most recent things that I heard, and this was from another guru, Tim Schmoyer, who I love Tim Schmoyer. He's wonderful. And I feel like he is a YouTube guru. One of the things that he recently said was that when you have been consistently uploading and you've been creating content for your viewers, and if you compare this to a traditional TV show, Tim said, and I don't know that I agree with this, but he said traditionally has about 7 seasons to a show, which is about 90 episodes. So he said, when you hit 90 videos, it's about time for you to change up what you're doing. And I thought that was really interesting, because a lot of people do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, because that's what their viewers expect. But think about someone like Picasso. Did Picasso create the same style of art his entire life? Not at all. Picasso was heavily influenced by everything that was happening around him, and his artwork showed that. So that made it much more interesting, much more intriguing for his patrons, for the people who consumed his art, for the people who collected his art, for the museums that showed his art. It's so much more interesting than always exactly the same thing. Now, with that said, there are many, many famous artists who do the same thing for years and decades and maybe forever. So do you have to change up your content on YouTube? Do you need to change up your thumbnails on YouTube? I think yes. I also think it's entirely up to you, and that's your call. And what do your viewers think? That's another thing. What do you guys think? I mean, tell me, what do you think? Because actually, I would love to know what you think. If you've gone to a bunch of YouTube channels and you've looked at people's content, let me know what you think in the chat, because I am truly interested to know what you think about this. Do you think it's better? Sheila, that was such an awesome question. Do you think it's better to keep your thumbnails consistent for every piece of content, or do you think it's better to change it up depending upon your playlist? And do you think that Tim is right, that after about 90 videos, you should really start changing up your video content to keep it fresh for your viewers? All of this, very interesting. So put it in the chat and Sal will let me know. Does it make sense? Does what you've put on your thumbnail make sense? So what else gets the viewer to click? What else? Titles. Titles, titles, titles. So there are three things that create your YouTube channel, that get viewers to click. What is the content of your channel? And that's the first thing that you as a YouTube creator need to determine. What's your niche? What is your topic? What is your theme? What is your content about? So it's not going to be a broad category. It's going to be super niched within a broad category so that people can find you. So what is the content about? What are you on? That's not one. So now I expect to see that on your channel banner, on the header channel, on your homepage, which shows up on every single page of your YouTube channel. I want to know, if I come to your channel, what is it about? Tell me on your banner. Tell me on your banner what your channel is about. This is number one. It's the topic of your content. That's number one. Number two, thumbnails. Because visually, that's the first thing we as human beings look at. We don't look at titles first, we look at thumbnails first. Visually, we look at your thumbnails. So if your thumbnails are dynamite, if your thumbnails are eye-catching, if your thumbnails are branded, I'm going to start to know who you are and what your content is about. And number three is titles. And the reason for that is because if you are in suggested videos and somebody looks at your thumbnail but doesn't click it, but they're intrigued, the next thing they look at is the title. That is the next thing they look at. So you have two chances. You have two chances to get someone to click through to your video content topics, right? Your video content topics. You have two chances, but your first chance, and if you blow it, you really don't get a second chance. So your first chance is your thumbnail. That's your first chance. Your second chance, if someone's looking and they notice that and they decide that maybe they're going to click it, they're going to look at your title. Now, YouTube has 100-character limit on titles. And what that means, what are characters as opposed to words? Characters are everything. They're spaces, they're letters, they're numbers, they're exclamation mark, they're everything. They're everything. So it is every single character is counted by YouTube, but only 70 of those 100 characters show up when you look at a title. 70. So if you are not familiar with word counter, you just type into Google word counter in search, and up will come a word counter. And what you want to do is you want to take your title and you want to pop it into word counter, and you want to see how many characters it is. And you want to tighten it up so that the first 70 characters are dynamic, are eye-catching, are enough to hook the viewer to click. 70 characters, right? Okay. Here's a thumbnail. And that truly is what the whole thumbnail is. But it's intriguing. It's intriguing because we as YouTube creators, what do we see there? Well, we see a person with a computer screen, we see lights, and we see a camera, and what is this? And we see question marks and an exclamation mark. It's intriguing. Is it enough to click? Is it enough to click? Would you click this thumbnail? I would really and truly like to know. Let me know in the comments, would you click this thumbnail? Because these are the kinds of things that help all of us to understand, yeah, this is something that you as a YouTuber and you as a person who uses YouTube would click, or not a chance, not a chance would I click this. I would really like to know. Now, here's the thing. If you're intrigued by the thumbnail, but you don't want to click it because it's not telling you what content is about enough, although it seems, pretty obvious, look at this dynamic title. Entire YouTube studio set up on one desk. This is an awesome title. If you are a YouTuber and you want to know how to set up your entire studio in a teeny weeny little space, here it is. Here it is. So I think that's fantastic. I think he really shows you everything you want to know. And that is the title right there. And that title is only 40 characters. And what that means, the fact that it's only 40 characters and he could have used up to 70 characters, which would still show up on the suggested under titles. It would still show up in suggested videos under titles.
Sheila would click on the one with the desk.
Sheila would click on the one with the desk? Because that's you. I know, I was thinking about you, Sheila. I was thinking this is perfect for crafters, right? It's the perfect setup for crafters. It's the perfect setup for writers, to show you writing. It's the perfect setup for authors. It's a perfect setup for a lot of people.
Probably not.
And Dale said probably not, because Dale shoots videos outdoors. Right, so probably not. But here's the thing that's interesting. So many of us think, oh, for me, that isn't exactly something that I want to know. But in the future, you might surprise yourself by wanting to do something different for your viewers. And then something like that becomes extremely important and valuable and powerful. So not every bit of content, right, is going to work for everybody. But this is, this is the kind of thing that you want to think about. How can I do something like that, that's clickable, that I would relate to, or that my viewers would relate to? That's what you want to think about. Okay, another thumbnail. Literally, this is the whole thumbnail. Do you know who this man is? I didn't know. I didn't know who he was. But this title, Do Schools Kill Creativity? Is a clickable title. Is a clickable title if you want to know. If you are at all interested in this particular content, that is a fantastic title. Do Schools Kill Creativity? Is only 27 characters. Wow. So what does that mean? I have heard two different trains of thought about titles. One is make your title exactly, specifically what you want to say. And that does say it, right? And it does leave a lot of white space about it. So actually it's very visual because it will have a lot of space around it, because you could have had 70 characters and yet you only used 27 of them. So it will be something that will catch your eye in the sense that there's room around it to read it. Now, there are many YouTubers who say YouTube gives you 100 characters for a reason. One of them is SEO, search engine optimization, so that people find you. The second reason is keywords, of course. That makes so much sense, because the more keywords you can put into your title, the bigger chance you have of people finding specifically what they're searching for. And what I mean by that is not a word, I mean long tail keywords. So if your entire sentence is something that people are searching for, like what's happening with schools these days, or is something killing off the school system, or whatever, this is the kind of thing that you might consider not doing such a brief title so that you get more search engine optimization, more SEO out of those keywords that you can pack into your title. So this is, again, two trains of thought here. One is try to grab people's attention with as much white space as you possibly can and the most dynamic, hooky title that you can possibly think of to get them to click your thumbnail. The other is pack it full of as much information with keywords as you possibly can so that they really understand what it is that the content is all about, and then they click it. Either way, I think you're going to win. Either way, I think you'll win. This is the thumbnail, okay? This is the thumbnail. And so many of us right now have been in this situation on a Zoom with a whole bunch of other people. And does it look like this? Yeah, it does. You know, so we've seen this many times. Is it clickable? Would you click on this thumbnail? I don't know. I mean, put it in the chat. Would you click on this thumbnail? For me, I have zero interest in this thumbnail. But if you were interested in Zoom, which is the very center of the thumbnail, yeah, I mean, maybe you would think that the entire content is going to be a tutorial on Zoom, right? I mean, that's what I thought. I thought it would be a Zoom tutorial. What do you think? Would you click it? Would you immediately think it was a Zoom tutorial, or what did you think? I really, truly would like to know what you think about this thumbnail. Put it in the chat. Okay, so here's the title: 17 teachers you'll meet in every online class. I have to say that is an intriguing title. If you are using Zoom, you know that there are certain kinds of people always that are in charge of the Zoom meetings and are holding Zoom meetings and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So this is an intriguing title, I think. Again, I would love to know your thoughts on it. So please put them in the chat and let me know. So this is the entire title just by itself. And if you were to just see the title, I think the title's good enough that you would actually click on that. I think it's good enough.
But the photos weren't.
But the photos weren't. Sal just said, but the photos weren't. And I agree. I don't think the thumbnail was clickable. I do think the title was fabulous. And the title is only 45 characters. So enough said in 45 characters to get me intrigued enough to want to click. Intrigued. Think. What are you thinking about? Cinderella. Why in the world am I telling you to think about Cinderella? I think Cinderella truly is the perfect example of thumbnails. I know that sounds crazy, but if you think about it, it's not.
Sheila said shoes.
Right, you think shoes, right, Sheila?
I thought Bill Murray.
Sal thought Bill Murray. What? Why?
David knew.
Okay, Sal said David
So
knows.
was Dale.
And Dale knows.
I know.
Okay, so you guys know. So what caught the prince's eye? What caught the prince's eye? Was it Cinderella? Think about the name. Ella in the cinders. That's what she got her name from. Cleaning up the ashes from the fireplaces. Cinderella. Would this lovely little thing have caught the prince's eye as a thumbnail? Is this clickable? You want to click this thumbnail? I mean, think of it. This is a thumbnail. Are you clicking? Does it have everything we just talked about? Does it have bright contrasting colors? Does it have a big face? Does it have an animal? Or this? Holy crap, would you click on this? I mean, what? So this has like razzle dazzle. This has animals and it has magic and it has great contrasting colors and it's dynamic and it's everything, right? It's everything. It's like, wow. Okay, it's got razzle dazzle. It's got razzle dazzle. So if you know the story of Cinderella and you just see the glass slipper, would you click? Yeah, if you're interested in Cinderella, you would. But if you don't know anything about the story of Cinderella, would you click the super dull thumbnail of her in the cinders cleaning up the floor? Or would you click the razzle dazzle, wowzers, guerrilla marketing thumbnail of like, whoa, this is some kind of thing that I want to see about, right? There's magic, and there's some kind of fairy, and there's a princess, and there's crazy animals everywhere, and it's just beautiful and wow, right? Razzle dazzle. So what else could you use for a title for Cinderella? Well, there were many things said in Cinderella that you could literally use for the title, not just Cinderella, because of course, even if you just said Cinderella, that's going to get attention, because what a fantastic, amazing story. So if you know the story of Cinderella, which everybody grows up hearing the story of Cinderella practically, yes, you would probably want to click just because it says Cinderella, but you'd more click razzle dazzle than dull. But look at this. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish can come true. Now that is a beautiful quote from Cinderella. Is that a title? I don't think so. That is not a title. That's a description. That could go in the description below the video, but that is not a title. It's a beautiful quote from Cinderella. So what is a title? And look at that, it's 104 characters. So it almost actually could be a title. But is that a good title? I don't think so. But look at this. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, ...
Wow.
Ooh, now this is intriguing. This is an intriguing title. This is something that you just might want to click on, even if you see that super dull thumbnail of poor little Cinderella cleaning the floor, because you want to know what's going to happen. What's going to happen to the poor little thing if your heart is grieving? Why is her heart grieving? Don't you want to know? And you have to keep believing. This is only 65 characters. Now we know that the entire title fits in search and will come up in search and be readable in search. The entire 70 characters worth that show up, only 65. So we're going to get some white space. This is good. This is good. Now, here's another one. A dream is a wish your heart makes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's the kind of thing that it's dreamy, it's romantic, it's clickable. Sal.
Sam just put a pretty girl lives with 7 guys.
Hi, Sam. So Sam just put up pretty girl lives with 7 guys. See, this is another clickable title. Awesome, Sam. Very clickable title. Pretty girl lives with 7 guys. Who are we talking about? Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, right? But what is so much more intriguing than that? Pretty girl lives with 7 guys. So yes, think about what is hookable, what is clickable, what is going to get people to want to know more. Because yeah, for sure, I would have to say that Sam's title is much more intriguing than Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. That little lovely quote was only 38 characters. Wow. So probably you could include even more SEO in that title if you use that as a title for the video. Cinderella. So that's why I want you to think of something like Cinderella, because the story of Cinderella is something that it just makes you happy, you know, that the underdog ends up beating out everybody and winning her place in society, you know, because of magic. But still, I mean, her loveliness helped, but I think her charming personality didn't hurt. So there's a lot going on there with the story of Cinderella that you want to think about for your own thumbnails and titles. And that's why I use it as an example, because it's easy to remember what's the difference with a good and not so good thumbnail. Well, just think about the dullness and the dazzle. Do you want to be dull or do you want to be dazzling? Dazzle wins. Dazzle's clickable. Okay, questions on that? Any questions on that? Any other awesome titles that you want to give us, Sam? Because that was a really good one. Really, really good one. So YouTube marketing is all about so many different aspects of marketing your business, so many different aspects. And we have covered quite a lot of them in the last couple of weeks. And when you think about YouTube marketing, you don't necessarily think about those two words together, but you should. Because YouTube is a giant platform for you to create anything your heart desires. I'm going back to Disney and Cinderella. Anything your heart desires can come true. And literally, it's what do you want to do with your YouTube channel? What is the topic of your channel? What do you want to make it look like visually? What is your branding? What is the razzle dazzle that you're going to grab people and draw them in with? What is going to make them click to go look at your videos? So the number one thing is your thumbnails. The number one thing is your thumbnails. So let's recap. Thumbnails are number one. Thumbnails are number one. And if you don't take your thumbnail, in fact, I read about a YouTuber and she has millions of subscribers. All right, I will have to tell you, she's one of the slime girls. That's what she does. She does all different kinds of slime, colors and different ways to make it and all kinds of stuff. And I found her because I was looking for dynamic thumbnails to show you guys. And she says that the first thing she does before she makes any of her content, any of her videos, are the thumbnails. She knows that the most important thing to get viewers to click are her thumbnails. She knows that. And she's right, because they are the number one thing that you need to get clicks, your thumbnails. Okay. The goal of your thumbnail is to get the maximum number of clicks. The goal of your thumbnail is to get the maximum number of clicks. The other goal of your thumbnail is to show up in suggested videos, right? How do you do that? Faces, animals, and bright color, contrasting colors are what make a thumbnail the most clickable according to YouTube. According to YouTube. And YouTube knows. They've got 2 billion users, 2 billion. So YouTube knows from everything that has been clicked ever since 2005, YouTube knows. Okay, so faces, animals, and bright colors are what are being clicked now, right now. Gorilla. Think of gorilla style thumbnails. Be unconventional, be creative, be imaginative, think outside the box, go outside your comfort zone and create something that is so visually stimulating that someone has to get all excited about clicking it. That's what you want. Clickable thumbnails. Unconventional, creative, and imaginative. Titles are number 2. Titles are number 2. So if you set up your YouTube channel and you've picked your topic and you know what your content is going to be about, nobody else does, right? Nobody else does. Okay, you know, you're the person who knows. But now you start making videos, you start making thumbnails, you start uploading, you're very consistent, you start putting all this wonderful content on your channel. How do people find it? YouTube marketing. This is YouTube marketing. This is using YouTube to market your business, to make money. And this is what you want to do. Titles are number 2. So the goal of a title is to get clicked. The goal of your titles is the same as the goal of your thumbnails. So if somebody's intrigued by your thumbnail, but they're not clicking it, your title is your backup. Your title is your second line of defense, okay? Well, actually, your second line of attack is what it should be more. Your second line of attack is your thumbnail. Now, the second line of attack is your title. So you want to be sure that your titles are hook-worthy. Grab the attention of the viewer and make them click. Remember that the YouTube character limit is 100. Remember that only 70 characters will show up out of that 100. So don't have more than 100 words in your 100 characters in your title, and try to always have the first 70 characters of that title hookable, clickable, dynamic, intriguing, exciting, interesting. Whatever it is that you need to get somebody to click, that's what you want to do. And then repeat this with every single one of your videos. So learn and learn and learn and learn from every single thing that you do and get better and better and better doing it. That's what is going to make people come back, subscribe, grow your channel, purchase your products, buy your services, and make you money. Okay, this is what you want. You want to make money so that you're financially stable, so that you're just able to relax and stop being stressed, right? Everybody's goal. So that's YouTube marketing. Any questions about all of that? Because believe me, this is so super important when it comes to your channel. It is the most important thing you can do after you pick your niche, after you pick the topic of what it is that you are going to niche down to. Then the most important things are your thumbnails and your titles. Okay, questions on that? Anybody? Okay. No? Yes? No? Okay. Now, for those of you who are new to this and haven't heard about Zazumi, Sal and I have created a membership, guys. And what we do is to make your business marketing stress-free and simple. We have created Zazumi to give you monthly topics, monthly business topics that you can then coordinate specifically to your business and your brand, and titles and thumbnails. Every single month we provide those topics, titles, and thumbnails. So Zazumi, it's a video action planner, it's thumbnail templates, it's customizable titles, it's everything you need to get your business marketing on a schedule and repeatable and consistent and out there to grow your business, to get more customers, to buy more products, to make money. Okay. As a founding member, and we are only offering this until July 7th. And why do we pick July 7th? 007. It's just such a cool number, right? James Bond, 007. That's why we picked July 7th. But anyway, we're only offering this remarkable $15 a month. $15 a month. I mean, 3 cups of coffee, guys. $15 a month to be able to get all of this to market your YouTube channel, your business, to market your business consistently week after week and month after month for $15. Just go to zazu.me and sign up. You can even learn more about it there. I mean, okay, so that's the other thing. And the other thing is we do every week a Facebook Live. You can have all your questions about your business, specifically your business marketing, until we have thousands of members. It's harder, of course, but it is so important for you to be able to market your business on a consistent basis. And YouTube is free. We don't know how long YouTube is going to be free. But wow, I mean, to be able to market yourself without a PR company, right? Without paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to a PR company to market yourself, kind of a no-brainer. So topics, titles, and thumbnails, the most important things that you can give yourself is the stress-free topics, titles, and thumbnails every single month to get your videos out there, to post consistently, build your brand, build your business, grow your business, and make money. And now we have, you're gonna love this. Now we have the final goodbye from me and Sal and my mom, Iris. And apparently I am a pirate this time. So here we go, guys. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you. And I'll see you here next Tuesday. And we're gonna do the dating game goodbye. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.